Hey guys, this is Chris. A few of my guildmates asked me next time I do phase one of the Sith raid to go ahead and record it so they can get a little better understanding of the whole JTR thing and try to understand a little more about why it's so important to have her as a character and her team going into this raid. Um, you should know that this is tier six. This is not heroic. Our guild isn't quite there yet. But you can still get a good feel about what kind of cadence you're gonna doing your team. Trying to avoid annihilate, obviously, and in general, just trying to score high. And my goal here is to knock Kennedy off of the top of the list there. So we'll see if I can get to 6 million or more. All right. So here's my team. My team is the not the regular team here. I used to run Hermit Yoda instead of Resistance Trooper because I didn't have him geared up yet. I tried it once. I got him to about gear 8, and he was a little bit squishy still. At gear 9, he's able to last a little bit longer, but he can get some modest damage in before he finally dies. But what I discovered is that even though I was getting a little bit longer into enrage due to the healing and that, plus the extra damage from Yoda's, I don't know, group attack, whatever the heck it's called. Um, it just didn't add up as fast as Resistance Troopers nonstop attack, attack, attack. The other thing that I want to note is that my Scavenger Array, um, she's only gear 11 right now, and I don't recall what her speed is, but I know she's not modded correctly yet. Um, I still need two more gear pieces on Jedi Ray to get her the two G12 mods. As a matter of fact, I'm sorry, gears. As a matter of fact, I need those both for R2 and BB-8 as well. So I'm probably sitting at around 220, 225 or so speed with the top three. I couldn't tell you where the other the two were at, honestly. Well, yes, I could. I'm pressing the button. It's not responding. So Scavenger Ray. Oh, look at that. Higher than I thought. 231. And I'm pretty sure he's low. But that's fine though. He doesn't really need to have speed, but just for the kicks here. 170. So now again, if you already know how to run the team, that's fine. This is more important for some of my guild members who don't know how to run the team. I'm gonna go ahead and hit battle. The biggest thing is that you don't really have to worry about getting turn meter for. I'm sorry, you don't have to worry about speed on Resistance Trooper because whenever he hits with the special, he actually gains like 55% turn meter or something like that. So, and on top of that, whenever BB-8 does the Illuminated Destiny, he gains another 80% turn meter. So he's nonstop going, going, going. Now, one of the big keys that I learned by talking with my older friends, older by meaning having higher GP and all that, is that take your time. There's no turn meter for you on this game, at the clock. So you can take your time and really think about what you want to do before you go ahead and just start clicking, click, click, and oops, I made a mistake. The main thing you never want to do is you never want to hit Nihilus with a basic if your person has shields down or defense down. And you get defense down if you hit him with a basic. So, for example, if I hit attack basic on Nihilus, I will get defense down and he'll lose some percentage of his protection. If I hit him again with my defense down character, he will actually gain protection back. So the next person who hits has to hit the protection in order to do damage. So you don't want to let him drain protection from you like that. Now the other thing is that my team's not fast enough to do this yet, but your goal should always be to try to get Illuminated Destiny off before Nihilus's first turn. And there's a few keys that you have to kind of do in order to prevent him from getting his turn. But we're going to start off by just obviously Illuminated Destiny. Sorry. covert data transfer. You know, it's funny because I don't even really know what it's called. It just called it Intel. Just click it. Okay, so the big thing here to understand is that Nihilus is susceptible to turn meter reduction. The other two bosses are not. So I can use that to reduce turn meter. Also know that whenever you actually hit Nihilus, he gains speed, so he gets faster and faster until his next turn. When he takes his turn, his speed will go back to 0. Well, it'll go back to normal again. So you have to be careful. Only hit him when you absolutely have to until you get Destiny off. Once Destiny's off, you just go nuts on him. The other thing you want to keep an eye on is on your first try, and this is more important for the heroic Sith raid than it is for this raid, so I'm not going to do it if it doesn't happen here. For the heroic, you want R2 to either go first or second. If you can get him to go first, that's the best. That way you can find out early if you need to reset or not. But you need to use his third ability, Improvise, so he can try to get exposed on everybody. And most importantly, if he can get exposed on Nihilus. If he does not get exposed on Nihilus in the heroics raid, reset and start over and keep trying it until finally you land exposed on Nihilus. Then you go. But if you don't get it in heroic, reset. Oh, by the way, if you don't know what I mean by reset, it means retreat, come back and try again. So in this one, if he doesn't land it, that doesn't matter. I'm just going to continue anyway. But I always do that first. There you go. Okay, so if you have BB-8's Zeta, which you should, on her turn, I don't want to hit him yet because I've got the expose on there. So I want to make sure that I get BB-8's Illuminated Destiny down as fast as possible. The best way to do that is by using your other teammates' special abilities. So each time you use a special ability, they're going to pass intel to somebody else and then reduce his Illuminated Destiny cooldown by the number of intel. So right now I have 3. When I use her second ability here, she's going to give intel to somebody and then reduce BB-8's intel by 4. So what I'm not going to do is use this ability on Nihilus. I'm going to use it on the guy who gives me the shields. And then if you have BB-8's Zeta, you click BB-8 for this and let him hit and watch the other person attack. Now the reason you don't want to hit Nihilus here is because, first of all, you don't want him to lose expose. Because I think you only get like 70% chance with JTR's leadership to give him expose again. So that means you've got a 30% chance of not getting it. But the key is that whenever you use a special ability under JTR leadership, anybody who has exposed loses a percentage of turn meter. So as long as Nihilus' speed is low, you can keep his turn meter under control at that point. But once you start hitting him, his speed will outpace the amount that he'll lose due to the expose. So that's why what you want to learn how to do is utilize his adds, the 2 characters on the sides. So if you keep beating on those guys until you get the Illuminated Destiny up, then you're sitting pretty. One of the biggest things that I learned from my old buddies was that with Scavenger Ray's ultimate ability, she hits 4 times. If you hit Nihilus with that thing, he's gonna speed bump 4 times. So never use that ability on him before Destiny hits. So I'm just gonna go ahead and finish this guy off. There you go. Now, I actually learned this one the hard way the other day, and I kept kicking myself, so I kept doing it over and over again. With Resistance Trooper, use his second ability as often as possible, but only use it on a character that has a debuff. If you don't use it on a debuff, he doesn't get the cooldown. But if you do use it on a character with a debuff, he reduces his cooldown by 2, which means that he just continue using it over and over again. So both these characters have it down right. I mean a debuff right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and target the ad. I'm gonna use this thing, and you can take a look at Resistance Trooper's turn meter. It's crazy high again. And we're gonna look at the Illuminated Destiny is down to 48. So remember that I started off, I can't remember if it was 70 or 80 I started at, but you can see it's dropped down pretty considerably. And so I just continue using my specials, and you can see Nihilus' turn meter is not going up. The other guy, his turn meter is going to be stationary as long as I keep him with expose. you can actually drive the ad's turn meter down to 0 with JTR's ability. You can see here I don't have anything I can do except for the shield. I don't want to use that, so I'm gonna go ahead and whack the ad with my basic. At this point, I don't want to kill that guy off just yet. I like to keep an ad just in case I run out of options. All I have is a person with defense down who only has basic ability available. Then I can just go ahead and whack one of the ads, and that does not give Nyla's shield back. In this case, I don't really want to kill him yet. And the other thing is that I know that inevitably R2 is going to kill the ads, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm going to go ahead and start poking at Nihilus now. And you can see now he did not get turn meter from that. I mean, exposed from that, which is fine because we're going to be smacking him around a little bit now. Just make sure you keep using. You see, all the characters have intel now. Keep just spamming the special abilities. Doesn't matter what you do it on. Just continue to use that, and that'll help you get that eliminated destiny down. 26 right now. And when it comes up to here, make sure that when you get JTR back up, and she's got her Mind Trick ability, it does a lot of stuff. It's really good. The two most important things is that it removes all buffs, and it reduces turn meter by for each reduce debuff, remove 20% turn meter. So 20% of his turn meter is pretty good. What it does is it pushes his turn off, so you can get a few more character attacks in. But the big thing is that in addition to do that, each active resistance ally gains 15% turn meter, which makes your team faster. Those are the kind of things that you don't really see. Like with BB-8, I think he gives you 4% or 8% or something like that turn meter. All those things over and over again make sure your team a lot faster than what you think you are. So in this case, I want to make sure I keep pushing his turn meter back as much as possible to get that eliminated destiny off. And pop him again. Finally get rid of his turn meter, or his protection. And again, I always select BB-8 for this. That way, when he attacks out of turn, he'll call somebody else, and hopefully he'll either call a JTR or a Scavenger Ray. There you go. I keep just spamming those specials. And here's what I mean. See the ad's turn meter is actually lower than it was last time we took a look at him. And then R2 is just going to laugh at him there. And I did it. Eliminated Destiny before his first try. I don't know, sometimes I've had it happen once or twice, but it's never consistent. So this time, I don't know if it was just an RNG thing or if I did something better or because I was going slow and trying to show you the best way to do it. But getting it off before he gets a turn is amazing. So all your characters gain all these crazy buffs like this. But in addition to it, which I should have actually popped it up so you can see, the biggest thing that I really enjoy about it is that, number one, all the opponents are going to get exposed. So you get bonus turn meter for that. You get 80% turn meter just for using the ability. And also, I'm going to hold JTR Training Ray here for a second so you can see speed up, 25% speed, and offense up, critical chance up, critical damage up. So you guys are going to hit like crazy for a while. And, excuse me, one of the great benefits of this is that it encourages you even more to keep spamming those high damage abilities, which brings up the next Eliminated Destiny. So you just keep, that's your whole goal, is to roll these as much as possible, keep Nihilus from taking turns, and just stack up as many hits as possible. So we're going to go ahead and hammer on some of these. Now, see, now I don't have an ad. Now I've got Eliminated Destiny. I don't really care. Actually, matter of fact, I want to beat on the guy pretty good here. So, yeah, I can never see the damage. I just know it's pretty good. And you can see he's getting ready to take a turn. So one of the things that's very important, especially in Heroic, is you have to keep an eye on his Enrage. But more importantly than that, you have to keep an eye on his second ability, which is the Force Drain, and obviously the third ability, which is Annihilate. In Heroic, Death Drain, actually. Drain Force, that's what it's called. It does a lot of damage. Like, one of the big problems with both BB-8 and R2 is they don't heal very well. Like they don't have health steal. When you get the G12 and then you can get their the multi tool, you can give them like plus 5% or something like that. But even then, it's not enough to actually heal your characters. So like JTR, she can get her health and protection hit down pretty good. BB-8 is going to heal her protection with Illuminated Destiny, but her health steal is going to gain a lot of health back for her. So that's why I put Smokescreen on her most often. I know a lot of people like to put Smokescreen on BB-8, hoping to get the counterattack chance in there. But the fact that the droids don't heal is a major problem. So I try to protect my droids as much as possible. And what I'm saying is that in Heroic, when he uses Force Drain, you have to have foresight on both your droids in order to keep you're deflecting the ability. So you don't want Force Drain sucking these guys to death, basically. What I'm trying to say. So yeah. So in tier 6, it's not so important that all of them have on there, but both BB-8 and JTR can generate their own foresight. You can also get foresight from R2 by having him use Smokescreen on you. You'll gain foresight, but then everybody is gunning for you. So in tier 6, it kind of does the opposite of what you would want. He'll use his Force Drain and then he'll hit you. So when he hits you, the biggest problem is he's going to steal all your abilities. So everything that you got from Illuminated Destiny, he's going to take from you. So I like to put... I know that my Resistance Trooper is not going to survive that much longer. So I'm going to be putting my Smokescreen on JTR. In the Heroic version of this right now, I would probably put Smokescreen on R2 just to get him protected from Force Drain and then to deal with the hit afterwards. Hopefully he swings to somebody else is what I'm trying to say. So, in this case, I look at JTR does not have defense down, so she's good to hit him. And I can go ahead and pop him here. And it's keeping him at base just enough so I can get a couple more turns in with the usage of the abilities and the expose. So it's not going to last for long, though. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and put it on R2 here just so I'm showing you. So it deflected off 3 of them. And the damage he did in tier 6 isn't that bad, so it's okay. But you can look at Resistance Trooper and look at Rey. You see the life. The damage he does from Force Drain does not touch your protection. It sucks it right out of your health pool. So you can see that they took a pretty good hit on that. But the good thing for those guys, they both have a percentage of health steal. So yeah, just keep pounding on them until Jedi Training Range comes up. Here she is. And if what you want to try to do is get the cycle to click up to where he uses Force Drain. He's going to drain somebody. He's going to attack and take somebody's abilities, and then right away, JTR is going to come up with her Mind Trick available. And Mind Trick will remove his turn meter and take out all those buffs. The other perk is, and you can see the buff's already gone, a lot of times, I can't remember what the percentage is, but Resistance Trooper, I think when he crits on his special, he removes a buff. So if he does not do that, when JTR comes up there, you can wipe those buffs away and be safe. Because remember, he is taking speed up from you. So gotta keep an eye on that. But anyway, just continue using these abilities. Keep his turn meter down. Build up for yet another Illuminated Destiny. Down to 8 on the counter. So he should be ready to go next time he's up. I should say the defense down only lasts for 1 turn. So from my team, because they're pretty fast, it doesn't seem like it's just one turn. But JTR has actually taken 2 turns now since that was her 3rd turn since she had to hit their basic. So the defense down was gone. So she didn't give him protection. There's Illuminated Destiny. And now I'm keeping an eye on the Annihilate's at 5. Again, give it to BB-8 and hope for one of the Reys to attack. You see he's got all her abilities now. And of course I don't have it available right there. And here's Resistance Trooper. Knocks them all off him. That's good. Another Destiny? Wipe him out? You know, and that's one thing right there too is it may seem like a waste to use her mind trick right there, since I'm utilizing one of her turns with her eliminated destiny abilities. What I've found is that I could have hit him with my basic, but that doesn't add towards, actually subtract from BB-8's eliminated destiny. So in that case, there it's far more important to get to the next destiny than it is to get an extra, 10,000 damage or something like that. So utilize that to remove whatever turn meter he has, and just continue doing that cycle over and over again. He's got both force drain and whatever, getting his minions back next turn. Feed the void. Each allied minion takes damage equal to 5%. Yep. And reduce the cooldown of annihilation by 1. Yep, we're not going to do that. Alright, so just continue pounding on him. Once you get to this point, it begins to really click on how to do it. When he gets the 2 minions back, really, I just continue pounding on Nihilus, because R2 is going to kill the other 2 with that ability right there. He's going to give, the first time around, he'll give them expose, and then as you beat on Nihilus, their turn meter will be squashed. Next time he comes up, he'll just keep spewing oil on them and keep the cycle going. Bow. Okay, so I make sure right now that I look and I see he's got 3 debuffs. Yeah, just continue hitting him. Try to get the expose back on him. Keep wiping out all of his stuff. And in that situation there, I actually hit it faster than I thought, faster than I could think. I should have hit the Sith Assassin with JTR. I could have got whatever debuffs I put on him from her, lowered his health a little bit, and he's the only ad that has any issues, because I think he can do shock, and shock can prevent you from getting turn meter and things like that. So he's the only one of the ads that kinda has any issues, but not really. Just keep pounding Nihilus. Get that. You see BB-8 just gave both the ads exposed, so they're pretty much done now. Here goes R2. Just keep beating on Nihilus and racking up that point. And that's the best one right there. When he targets 2 different people who both have foresight. Take a look and see it annihilates down to 1 now. So now you have to start playing it cool. I only have BB-8 and JTR who have shields. JTR is who I want to have the ability. So what I want to do is try to time it. So I get to right about halfway up his turn meter. At that point, I'm thinking about putting, when her turn comes back around, she hits it. I do not want to have Unbreakable Will on BB-8. And I can extend that a little bit by doing things like that. Right here is where you start getting worried, because now I want to get JTR up. Keep in mind that when BB-8 uses the data transfer, somewhere in here it says Oh, maybe it's on JTR's abilities. She gains like 8% turn meter whenever he uses the data transfer. So you see she jumped a little bit. Um, I'm getting a little bit concerned because now I have to make sure that I don't speed him up too fast. So I'm going to go ahead and wax this guy. And as long as I'm hitting somebody else, he's not gaining speed. I'm reducing turn meter on him, which R2's not going to be very nice about. He's going to hit Nihilus anyway. And she gets her turn, so I'm going to go ahead and use Unbreakable Will now. And now I'll just beat on Nihilus as much as I can. And of course I mistimed that. Maybe I can keep hitting him to speed that up so he does hit her. There we go. Well, I can either hit him and force him to go next, or use transfer and possibly make her go next. If she goes next, she'll stop doing Unbreakable Will and he can target whoever he wants and kill him. So I'm going to go ahead and unfortunately use him to do that. Oh, jeez. Come on, Nihilus, damn. Okay. So the timing got a little bit wonky there, but you can see she actually went right after him. So thank God. If I had not hit him directly a couple of times like that, he was gonna wipe out whoever. Knowing my luck, since I'm recording this, he probably kills BB-8 and makes it all bad. And here's an example of why I was saying give it to her, because see how she's got no health or protection. When we go into this, you can see she's already back in the yellow. So, yay for health steal. Keep in mind that Nihilus has Force Drain up and ready. Thankfully, both BB-8 and JTR have Foresight ready, though. And I'm okay on everybody else. If I can get a... Nope. And you see R2 sparking over there. No bueno. You can see Nihilus is at the 6 in the cooldown for his enragement. I'm going to speed through this now because I'm actually running a little bit low in time. Oh, that's funny, he went anyway. R2 taking care of business. Yeah, I think this is turning into a pretty good run, even though I sort of messed up earlier with my timing on that Unbreakable Will. See, my countdowns are 2 on Force Drain, now it's down to 1, 3 in Annihilate, and 4 on Enrage. Just keep beating on them. Do or die time. $14 on Illuminated Destiny. $2. Go ahead and crank on him here. Wish I would have had smoke screen there. That's alright. The run's almost over anyway. Bow. Yeah, at that point it's pretty much over. I didn't want him to blast BB-8 because I can't protect him that well at that point. So I'm just gonna stretch out as much damage as I can now. That'll be the last destiny. The final destiny. There it goes. There it goes. Bop. Hit me. Bop. Oh, I thought I'd get one more hit from her. And that's it. Let's take a look and see what damage we did. Oh, only 4. I didn't knock her off. Him or her. Sorry. Not sure what your gender is. I was trying to beat your record, though. And that's it. That was not my best run so far. I think I had 6.5 or something like that last time we did T1. I'm sorry, Phase 1. Get my letters confused. But that's pretty much how it goes. Once I get my G12 on Ray and my 3 more gear levels on Resistance Trooper, I'm hoping to be able to ratchet this up to closer to 10 million, and then go from there. So if you have any questions, or if you saw something where I made an obvious mistake, ignore ignore the Annihilate thing with JTR earlier. Outside of that, I'm always open to learn. So let me know if you have any thoughts.